Oh, what a time. I gave you guys 22 games. I didn't even break in the new year because I knew it was going to be a bunch of hoopla. I wanted to give you the real facts because I was thinking in my head just as much as you Laker fans were. I made some new changes. I hope you did too. But I really wanted to see what the changes were with the Lakers. And I knew it took time. I had questions. I want to know if we delete the fouls of Frank Vogel's system while we can implement Darvin Ham. I wanted to see if LeBron James was ready to be Robin to Batman. I really want to see if Russ is really going to be Russ and was he going to shake it off from last season. And I really need to see what the new guys were when they came into this team. But I tell you one thing. Batman has arrived and he wears number 3. Oh, let's talk about this. Sheesh. What's up, Laker fans? I'm back. It's been a minute, and I missed all of you. I missed every last one of you guys when it comes to talking basketball, and it's definitely the Los Angeles Lakers, baby. Made some changes, like I said before. How do I look? Some of you remember me having long hair and dreads and things, but I had to make a change. I think that's what the Lakers had to do, too. We had to make a change. I had to go back and reflect. I had to reflect in the offseason to figure out what would this team be. After seeing Frank Vogel's demise, the team getting stale, we're on the AARP club. Our hype and expectations for the names, keep that in mind. The names that we had on that roster last year. We think that we had those names from 2011. This was from 2021. We forgot. Because we don't care, right? Names. That's all we want. It didn't work out that well. Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, a lot of those guys that we had, and we were really, really pumped. And we should have been 10 years ago. Frank Vogel leaves. The team is all over the place. We don't know what we want to do with THT. We don't know what Reeves is going to be. But I also said Reeves was going to be a baller. Check back to the previous videos.
Let me help you with that. What I realize is Austin Reeves is an actual damn good player. I realize that he's actually better than Alex Caruso. No, I've been knew he was better than Alex Caruso. But his skill set is making the Alex Caruso believers now say, whoa, we might have gotten a steal here. It's not really about consistency. It's about allowing me to play my game. Now, remember I told you guys about rhythm. If you ask a dump truck to be a taxi, it's not going to perform well. Well, now you're seeing that they're allowing the dump truck to actually be a dump truck. There's no pressure. There's no LeBron over your shoulder trying to tell you what to do on the court to make your eyes do this much. Remember when Austin Reeves did that earlier? You now can just play freely. You don't feel like you're making any mistakes. And if you do, you know how to get it back on defense.
But here we are. Some of us were still shooting for Caruso. No one speaks on Caruso's name anymore. Nah, neither here nor there. We're here. Off season. Darvin Ham comes in. Gets to the press conference. Everybody's wanting Russell Westbrook to go because Russell Westbrook, let's admit it, last year he just wasn't comfortable. The expectations was too grand. You can see it in his game. But remember, we fans, if you don't play well in the first game, you gotta go. Because of our impatience. It's the Laker way. But Russ has a lot of pressure. He doesn't look that well, and everybody says he's got to get him out of here, ship him out of here. But if you go back to my previous videos of last year, I also told you, give Russ time. This is the first time he's played with a squad this way, with conditions in this manner. Remember that?
I also told you that Russell Westbrook will be fine. And I also told you guys that LeBron James should not play that many minutes because LeBron James is in his 19th season. And the reason to bring in Russ over is to be able to have chemistry with Anthony Davis.
You remember if you looked. But hey, here we are. Darvin Ham comes on the press conference and says, hey, I want Russell Westbrook here. Everybody's shocked because everybody's saying if you're not good, you got to get a trade. Trade, 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 trade. That's all we hear in the Lakerland. Trade. I need new people. I need another star. They don't even care if the money matches. They don't even care. They just say, give me 2 lollipops for some said player. Give me Kevin Durant for 2 honey buns. That's not how the game works. We started the year off. People are really now nervous because everything that we thought was going to be in the offseason did not come to pass. We are now hyping and hooping for summer league players that shall remain nameless to make a squad because we're even watching Russell Westbrook on one end of the court and LeBron James on another end of the court, and the media was like, it has to be something wrong, and we fed into it. We fed into it. I've said this from Jump Street. Media is here sometimes to stir up a narrative. But if you are a real fan and you're a real team watcher, then you'll understand some of this stuff is baloney. Some of this stuff is just to be seen. And you fall for it every time. It's just in your head. You just can't get rid of it. Season starts. We now start adding pieces. We add pieces from championship squads. Juan Toscano Anderson. We bring back old faces, bring them back to the same place. Thomas Bryant. We go back and get a 10-day contract guy last year. We bring him back, Damian Jones. We go get Lonnie Walker the fourth from the Spurs. And Spurs fans laughed at us. He's no good. He's not a good player. He can't score. He can't play defense. His IQ is bad. Look at him now. Again, we taking our time. We go get one of our biggest nemesis in Patrick Beverley. And everybody knows when Patrick Beverley is on your team, you love him, but when he's not on your team, you hate him. He's such a nuisance. We keep going down the roster. We bring back Schroeder. Why not? He already lost $84 million. That's too soon. That's too soon. That was on me. That was on me. Kendrick Nunn. We're trying to figure out who he is because last year we haven't even seen him play. Last time we seen him, he was shooting jumpers against us against the Miami Heat. And he had a bone bruise that took 64 years to recover from. Only to start the new year and still wasn't healthy yet. The departure of THT. That ship had sailed. He goes to Utah as well. Austin Reeves. I did say Austin Reeves in previous videos that Austin Reeves is a baller. Just give him time. But who am I to tell you anything? Wally World is just trying to make it clear for you. Because everybody at that time was rooting Caruso, Caruso. And we'll get to that later. So now, here is your roster for the most part. Give or take a few guys. And here we are playing basketball, not knowing what's going to be next. We were all asking questions. We were all doing hypotheticals. We were still even waiting for trades. The media had us by the... And we was right there letting them hold them. Season starts, Utah Jazz get on fire. Holy moly, they're supposed to be tanking for Wembanyama. They're supposed to be tanking. What are we doing? It got so bad that before the season started, Adam Silver said, if I even find out that you guys are tanking, we're going to do some disciplinary actions. Utah said, no need. We're pretty good. As they made moves themselves to get Mitchell out of there and a lot of other guys out to bring guys in. Gobert's gone. And the Beanstalk lineup, which is all tall people with no talent, together. We'll get to that too. Only to clip down to bring in guys that all are scrappy and ready to play. And they come out jumping out, being number one in the West. Not Phoenix? Not the Clippers? Not us? Not Dallas? Not Utah? Not Denver? What are we doing? And everybody went mad as we was losing games at the beginning. And it was like, it's back to the old way. We knew it. Russ stinks. What are we going to do? He has to go. Even though his stock was as low as it's ever been. But trade him for 16 All-Stars. He's out of here. And you know what? And some of you fans, you got to admit this. You were on the get him out of here fast train. I bet you right now, as today, 22nd game into the season, you're not saying that anymore. I wonder why. Maybe, just maybe, the time has came to where now you understand that it takes time and you just very impatient. Maybe you might have thought that this may not have been Russ's mistake. Have you ever thought that maybe this wasn't Russ's fault? The same guy who played 79 out of 82 games last year? I wonder who we're going to blame. Maybe it's the ones who only played 30 games last year, and maybe the next one who's only played 49. Maybe I am the one that's tripping. Sometimes you have to just look at it black and white and just admit to what it is. Not for who you love, because if you love the purple and gold, then it doesn't matter who you say it is, as long as it makes sense. So now, Russ even says, I'm such a team player that I will sit the bench and I will play with the second team. The guy who plays 79 games is the one who's going to sit on the bench because the style of play doesn't fit. Do y'all remember me saying the word fit? Chemistry? Patience? This is not 2K23. As I said last year, this is not 2K22. It takes time. Now, what? Some of you haven't played a sport in your life, and I get it. Some of you watched it on the same letter networks and hear those same experts tell you the same old things because of their expectations and not the team's expectations. Some of you was ready to kick Rob off a bridge. Rob Pelinka is terrible. But some of you now are realizing that it is kind of hard to trade pieces and picks now when you said Russ Westbrook looks pretty good, huh? You have to make decisions now. This is not an easy thing. These are millionaire thoughts, millionaire ideas, millionaire moves. It's not that easy to go look on a video game and try to see which one matches. It's bigger than that. You have to think about a franchise, not a season. Some of us are just thinking about the season at hand, and then we'll cry 3 years from now when the franchise is in shambles for 7 years straight. Haven't you guys noticed what that looks like? Do you remember the Timofey Mozgov deals? What about the Luol Deng? If you don't understand how this goes, we waited for years to get Luol Deng off the books. We prayed somebody took Timofey Mozgov off our hands. Do you remember them times? And in order to get Timofey Mozgov off of our books, we had to get rid of a premier point guard that we drafted in D'Angelo Russell. Do you remember that? Brooklyn? Remember that deal? Oh, how long did it set us back till we could find another guard? You want to think? For him to come back every year and kill us. Remember that? We don't have patience. But now as this year goes on, we still were losing games. The big name people on those letter networks were saying they're trash. They're terrible. They'll never recover. The West will swallow them alive. As we watch ourselves go down to 14th, as low as 15th in the West. As I sit here on December 4th, Jay-Z's birthday, to now ask you guys, how do you feel? To me, I feel amazing. And here's why. Because as I said before, last season, that LeBron James would have to play off the ball. Do y'all remember me saying any of these things? He has to play off the ball at the age he is and let AD be the man on the team. Russell Westbrook can now be able to facilitate because LeBron James is playing off ball. Do y'all remember that? It all means spacing. Everybody can't take the same positions on the court. Russell Westbrook and LeBron James play in the same spots on the basketball court. That's why it looks so clogged. That's why nobody moves. That's why it's so stalemate. And I said LeBron James holds the ball too long. Do y'all not understand this? I said that last year. And finally, Darvin Ham, after trying to teeter-totter with the roster, because again, we came in being injured. Schroeder, hand issues. Nunn still ain't playing yet. We had so many things that was going around that we couldn't even figure it out. That at one game, we almost played LeBron James at the center. No! Not the Vogel way! That doesn't work. That's how bad we were. I'm just trying to explain to you guys that the same Juan Toscano Anderson that will come in and give the Golden State Warriors a spark is barely playing on the Lakers now because it's two different systems. I'm just here to speak the truth. Because some people say, Juan Toscano, we grabbed him from Golden State. Did you see why Golden State was like, go ahead? Because sometimes you're taking somebody else's pressures off of them when they technically don't need them. And we're going to get into some of these trades that we've said too throughout the offseason. Do you guys remember the Charlotte Hornets? Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward? P.J. Washington? For us? P.J. Washington's averaging right now 6 points a game. Terry Rozier, the only one that's decent. Gordon Hayward is hurt again, just like his haircut. You think that was a good deal? What about the Spurs? Remember the Spurs had a good deal for us? Remember that? They had a guard and they had a power forward in the center and whatever, but they're now looking worse as ever. And Greg Popovich is now looking like, why am I still coaching this team? A bunch of no-namers are not winning games. And the only person who had value on the Spurs is in Atlanta. That deal doesn't look good, does it? For your 2 first-round picks. And then we have the Indiana trade. But before we get to the Indiana trade, remember, we were talking about Brooklyn. Bring me Kyrie. Bring me Kyrie. Kyrie has 1 more year left on his deal. Just like Russ. Did you actually think that Russell Westbrook was going to go play with Kevin Durant, the same Kevin Durant that said he wanted to leave Oklahoma City because of Russell Westbrook to go to a team that he had no business going to at the point in time? From Oklahoma City fans. Calling him a cupcake and things like that. Did you think that that was going to happen? I don't think you thought that was going to happen. You were just being a Laker fan. Thinking that everything is deserving of you because you are a Laker fan. Not understanding the business. Not understanding nobody has to take our garbage. None. It's a negotiation league. What are we going to do with Russ when we just got a Ben Simmons who we don't know what's going on, don't know how he's going to play, which you see how he played, and he doesn't score and shoot neither? Why would I want both of them with Kevin Durant? No one thought about that, eh? So I knew that deal was a wash. This is why I tell Laker fans again about patience. Kyrie Irving will be a free agent at the end of this season. So will Russ. If you want him that bad, you will have your chance. He's not coming back to Brooklyn. And this is way before the other things that Kyrie Irving has done that we shall not name because we've heard it enough in the media. He will not return back to Brooklyn at any point. No need to worry about that. So you have your chance. You know, it's crazy how they throw all of these trades only for the Lakers to just suck up and just believe because they need headlines. And you fall for it every time. It does it every single year. It's almost becoming sickening. But here's the deal that everybody knows they can't refuse. The Indiana Pacers said, I want in. Give me Russ or give me Death and your 2 picks for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. And guess what? Lakers said, it's too good to be true. Now, most of us that Laker fans that actually understand basketball and understand fit, understand chemistry, understand system, understand what the coach is trying to ask for, we say yes to the Indiana Pacers trade. But here's the kicker. Russ is an expiring contract. After this season, Russ is off of their books. They're back to basics with a lot of money, young players, bad team, and a good draft pick. Lakers are stuck with Miles Turner's expiring contract, which means they will have to pay him big bucks that we're trying to get away from because we're paying Russ a big buck right now at $47 million, and a Buddy Hield that you will have to pay $22 million for the following season. And then after that, he's a free agent after that season, the next season. So this is what you have still pending on your books. So would you want Miles Turner to just come to the Lakers, not succeed, and then go somewhere else for bigger money because you're not willing to pay it? I'll give you an example. How was Andre Drummond? You remember them days? Did it surpass your mind that fast? Remember, Andre Drummond came that same kind of way. We couldn't pay Andre Drummond the way he wanted it, only for him to go to a team that, guess what, needed him to be a backup, and he was getting slack money where we traded back for Dwight Howard in. They swapped places. But look at Drummond now, never getting the money. But it's different now in this movement because there's not that many great centers and good centers that are out there in free agency the following year. So he's going to get his money. It's Miles Turner. He does everything you need as a center. Neither here nor there. Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield is not even playing over some of the young guys. Why is that? Not because of his money, but because he doesn't play efficient defense. And he's a volume three-point shooter, but he doesn't play defense. And it doesn't matter if he scores 28 points if he's going to give up 29. Makes sense? Do you now think he's worth that much money when you have a Darvin Ham coach that is all about defense first? And you're giving up your future to almost 2030. Decisions. Are you that desperate to risk it all? See, some of us, we work our regular jobs and wonder why we are not these people. Because if we were, we would probably have our franchises burnt to the ground by now within 3 seasons. Ask the Bus family. Sad times. It's on rocky road right now. But now here we are. The big moment of the day before we end this. Anthony Davis woke up one day and said, I don't want to be Hollywood anymore. I want to be back to New Orleans Pelicans basketball, Anthony Davis. You remember him? The guy that was averaging almost 38 points a game in a series against the champions in Golden State? The one who was with him and Boogie Cousins working it like a part-time job and no one can stop it with Rondo facilitating? He went back into that bag. And let me tell you something as a sports player. When you have been hearing things for so long, do not allow people, the players say, we didn't read that. We didn't hear that. They're lying. They have family and friends that tell them this is what's said in the media. He's heard that you're Mr. Glass. He heard that you can't stay healthy. He heard street clothes Davis. He heard all those things. And he tried to play a game to avoid injury by shooting a lot of threes, a lot of mid-ranges, a lot of fadeaway shots away from the basket. And that never was his game. Somebody put the light bulb on and told Anthony Davis, get back to basics. And that's what he's done. 2 games he scored 99 points. Tonight he scored 55 and 17. The game before that, 44 and 15 against Giannis. I think he's woke up. I think they have woken the bear that's been asleep for a couple seasons off the high of a championship. Someone finally told him, rather, coach, friend, trainer, get back to basics. And Anthony Davis is showing you why he's the best 4-man in the NBA.
And the reason to bringing Russ over is to be able to have chemistry with Anthony Davis, and that Anthony Davis will have to play more aggressive. And if he played more aggressive, he would have the points.
Injuries happen. They're unfortunate. Ask Gordon Hayward. They're very unfortunate. Ask Damian Lillard. They're very unfortunate. When you play a sport at the high level, and depending on your position, when you're down the paint around people's legs, guards' legs, people down there, you hurt yourself all the time. It's a brutal game getting rebounds. To see him getting 17 and 15 some nights, most nights, that is a grueling thing to do. Boxing a big 250, 60, 70 pound guy out every play to get an offensive or defensive rebound. Think about the toll on your body for 82 games and more in playoffs. None of us think about that because we think our players are just robotic. They're human just like us. We're either going to root for them or we're going to get on. We're going to leave. There's plenty of other teams out here to root for. But Anthony Davis now said, LeBron, you have been Batman for a long time. Give it to me. And LeBron is finally understanding from his injuries that it might be time for me to hand the torch. If this continues, Laker fans, we will move up the Western ranks as we're doing right now. We're 3 games away from basically getting 5th seed. It's crazy. 3 games away from being so bad to being, I don't want some of these players to go. Some of us fans are just like going back and forth in a toxic relationship. We love her. She might have hurt us. We want to let her go. Then she comes back with flowers and come back with your favorite food and your favorite jersey. And you love her all over again. Even though at first, you might have been the first one who hurt her feelings. This is how it works. There's no reason for us to trade any of these guys away. You have committed to Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, at least until the end of this season. For one of them. The pieces around this team is the issue. Kendrick Nunn may be an issue. Patrick Beverly is not there to score, guys. He's there for toughness. But you do what you do with that. Our centers who can barely play, Damian Jones, that's an issue. Juan Toscano-Anderson, who barely gets playing time, that's an issue. Are we not seeing these things? Troy Brown Jr. is doing what he's supposed to do. Lonnie Walker, you have some good pieces. Austin Reeves is doing this. And before we go, I almost forgot. As we recap this thing to the 22nd game, why are you not saying anything about Caruso anymore? It was the worst thing to do to get rid of Caruso. Look at the Bulls. You remember like last year when they was getting like DeRozan and Levine and Ball and Caruso, and they came to LA and they spanked us, and Lonzo Ball at 28, and everybody was like, see, this is the reason why we should have never let go of Caruso. I would encourage you to go look at his stats for $45 million that the Bulls are paying him. This is why the Bulls are trying to ship off everything on the books right now because they overpaid. And maybe Rob Pelinka might have been smart after all. A, because you're barely paying Reeves anything. Might have been smart to choose Reeves over THT. A, because has anybody seen how much THT weighs now? That was me. That was my fault. Yep, that was me. Again, guys, we're fine. Relax. Aaron Rodgers. Couple of pieces on this team to make it a full roster. You now have yourself a playoff contender. Remember I said that to you. And if you ever need to come back for reference, come back here because I'll be here now every week. 2 times out of the week, we're going to talk Laker basketball because I'm back, baby. New change, new ways, and we back. And always remember, if you allow things to come to you and not force it, you don't have to explain why the shot was bad. The Lakers are allowing things to come to them naturally. And now there's nobody talking anything in the media. I would love to hear what they have to say about Anthony Davis, especially guys like Charles. I guarantee. And on that note, La La Lake out. Give you my theme music.